Well, welcome everybody to Officiants Online, a virtual forum for professional wedding officiants to share their expertise. I'm Marissa. I'm the marketing and events coordinator at AMM, and I'm here with my co-host Jessica, AMM's lead writer, who will be helping out behind the scenes. So please send her a message if you have any technical questions. Today, we are joined by officiant and notary Norman Graham. Norman Graham is a professional wedding officiant and NNA Certified traveling notary, and the owner of Wed By Norm and Notarize with Norm. His wedding business is based in central New Jersey and services clients in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and beyond. He specializes in custom wedding ceremonies and elopements of all kinds. He has a special talent for creating fun, memorable, and authentic wedding experiences, including one-of-a-kind themed weddings, religious and humanist celebrations, and more. He's been ordained with American Marriage Ministries since 2022. Wed By Norm is also a two-time Couples Choice Award winner on Wedding Wire. So we're going to go ahead and throw things over to Norm, and we'll open things up for questions after he's done with his presentation. So we will go.
Thank you. That was a really good welcome. I really feel warm. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everyone, thank you for joining. My name is Norman from Wed By Norm, and I have a quick video to get us started. So once you see this video, let's take it away, and then we're going to continue with the presentation.
Love is the ultimate commitment which challenges humans to become all we are meant to be. Married life is full of surprises, adventures, and memories, all made possible by the enduring power of love.
I can feel it coming on. Waves of crimson on my cheeks. Is it right or is it wrong? The way I need you next to me. Midnight, you pull me under your eyes. Got brand new colors. My mind is going crazy, baby.
Over the course of their relationship, Elijah and Chastity have based their bond on laughter, dedication, and family, and as us young people call it, vibes.
I think I like it, I think I like it. I think I maybe might be diving into your ocean. No point in trying to deny it, or trying to fight it, or trying to hide it. I've decided to drown inside it, drown inside it.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign.
of my love and faithfulness.
With this ring, I marry you.
With this ring, I marry you.
I think I like it, I think I like it. I think I maybe might be diving into your ocean. No point in trying to deny it, or trying to fight it, or trying to hide it. I've decided to drown inside it, drown inside it.
Chaz, take care of my man. He's been with me through thick and thin. That's the way I expect that he'll be there for you. Through thick and thin, through highs, through lows, never far. He'll be there. To Chaz and Elijah.
I think I like it, I think I like it. Drown inside it. I think I like it, I think I like it.
Woohoo! Thank you all for joining. That was actually a video of a mock wedding that I did. Yes. It was a mock wedding where every vendor there was a real vendor, including myself, but we were just performing a wedding. It's like a style shoot that you can call it. So some people do style shoots, some people do actual weddings, some people do a mixture of all. So that was great. It just still gives me chills looking at that video. So can we go to the PowerPoint real quick? So today I will be presenting on how to succeed in your first 2 years of business. So who am I? I am Norman Graham. I am a wedding officiant from Wed By Norm. I have been in the wedding industry officially since 2022. I'm also, like Marissa said, a notary public, and I was able to become a wedding officiant actually by accident. Yes, so it was not in the bingo cards at first. originally I was just doing notary and helping out clients and also helping out fellow notaries when they have clients that they can't service. So I ended up helping out another notary who also is a wedding officiant. And she basically just needed somebody to step in for her because her calendar didn't sync. And I said, okay, jumped on a call. And next thing you know, after that wedding, it went successful. And now that I was ordained and I got trained and I knew what to do for New Jersey, the next thing was, I'm ordained, I might as well continue. So next thing you know, I slowly started continuing. I slowly started coming up with what I wanted my business to be. And now in 2024, here I am talking to you guys on how to make sure you are thriving and you are successful in your wedding business, whether it's officiating, and hopefully it is officiating, right, guys? Yes. Okay, so what we'll go over today is a table of contents of quite a few steps that I've went through and most of you will go through as you continue in your wedding officiant journey. So we are going over my initial steps, two parts. So that's why you see two. Then we're going over branding, and we're going over standing out and basically seeking your rate. So we have quite a few material that we'll be going over today. So my initial steps after I became ordained and did my first wedding and decided that I am gonna officially take this business by storm as much as I can, I decided to create a name. So most names that you would think of, you see my name is Wed By Norm. You may see names with nuptials. You may see names with tie the knot. So when you're thinking of your business name, you want to think of something that couples are not having to guess what you do. So certain key words that tie into you tying the knot or marrying people is definitely efficient in order for you to be noticed. One other thing I did after is you see where I mentioned a logo and branding colors. So in the first slide, the WN is my logo for Wed By Norm. So you want to come up with a logo based off of your vision of what your business is. So at first, because this wasn't in the bingo cards, I didn't have a vision until after I did the first wedding. So now as I sat home and pondered, I decided I want a logo that speaks elegance, but also it speaks people knowing that I'm marrying people, which is why I have the two rings tied into one. Branding colors, branding is definitely important because not only do you want to do your logo, you want to do your colors, you want to be consistent. So for me, you see soft colors such as like pink, brown, beige. Those are colors I usually go for. And I actually ironically mirrored those colors after Notarize with Norm. So I figured that those are soft, inviting colors and nothing that'll like scare away the client or something that's not too bright. So I stuck with the neutral earth tone like colors. And I would say the maximum amount of colors you want to stick with are 3. Anything more than 3 may be too much. Next for idea 2, create contact information. You want to have contact information that you are looking at daily, and contact information consists of your email address, telephone number. Definitely 2 important things that you want to have. If you're not good with email and telephone, this is the time that you have to really get good at it, because clients are going to call, clients are going to email, clients will look at your social media if you have one. However, they still need some type of professional outlook in order to reach out to you. So I would say have something that's simple, something that the words is not too hard to spell or not too long. So you want to have that contact information is definitely important. And marketing materials. So marketing material is definitely important. We are in an age where social media is important, and I definitely agree. However, I put tangible and non-tangible because we have to also stick to the initial steps before social media, which was before social media, we were passing out flyers or passing out cards, information. So I still stick with that as well, only because not all of your clients are gonna be on social media. And there's not all the time, at least for me, I don't get all of my clients due to social media. My social media actually gives them the backing and why they should book with me based off the material that I post. So anyone that's starting out, definitely have different marketing material. And upgrade it. So whatever you have in the beginning of your business, a year or two from now, you definitely should have more. So you should have lots of options for people to see and different lenses of you as being an officiant within the business. Next idea, creating an online presence. So creating an online presence, definitely having a social media, Instagram, Facebook like page. If you're on LinkedIn, you might think, well, LinkedIn is just for corporate America, but LinkedIn, you can possibly get a referral too. So I would definitely challenge you to get on LinkedIn. Definitely Google business page. I definitely challenge you to create your Google business page, update it as much as you would update your Instagram and your Facebook, because a lot of leads, when you think about it, whether it's food, whether it's restaurants. Okay, so business practices. You want to come up with business practices that are helpful towards your business. So business practices such as hours of operation, such as what forms of payment you take. Those are important things that you want to have down pat, because when a client contacts you for that initial step of, I want to book you as an officiant, you have that down packed as well. Then, so create an attire that exudes professionalism and uniqueness. So most people, you might see clergy members with a robe. You might see some people that wear all blue or a style that resonates directly with them. That is okay. For me, for example, I'm always dressed in a blazer, slacks, shoes. So no matter what the couple is going to see, that I'm coming in dressed to impress and ready to go, because I want to make sure that the couple that I'm marrying, they're able to envision me being that third person with them when it comes to photos. So I'm not going to be like a background vendor, like a photographer, a videographer, where you don't see them. So I definitely recommend you to take time when you're getting ready for weddings. Put your best foot forward. Definitely make sure you're well groomed, and make sure you are wearing clothes that are like loose. And why I say loose is because depending on weather, like if it's too hot or too cold, you don't want anything to stick. So definitely make sure your attire is something that's flexible for you and is great. Idea 5, create a contract and create business boundaries. So business boundaries, I mentioned a little briefly about business practices, but boundaries, if you are a person who want to not answer your business phone after 9 p.m., that's a boundary, and that's A-okay. If you want to be a person that you want full payment as you're booking the contract and booking the client, that's okay too. You want to initial everything in your contract so that there's no question or any moment where the client has to think or wonder what the next step would be. You want everything detailed line by line in your contract so that it works out well for you, works out well for the client, and you're also taking the step of being a professional officiant. Idea 6, creating networking strategies. So networking is definitely important, because in order for you to get clients, you have to go outside. You definitely have to meet. So wedding expos, going to your local meet and greet, even if it's a field that you are not associated with, you never know who's getting married. So I personally go to real estate events. I personally go to openings for venues. I personally go to wedding expos. I personally go to, let's say, a retirement party, anything that has to do with a place where I can exchange a card, even a pop-up shop, I go. So when you create these networking strategies, you want to make sure that you are being intentional and being authentic and being sincere. So definitely reaching out, definitely speaking, definitely seeing how you can offer value to that other person as well. So not saying like, what can they do for you, but more so, what can you do for them? And also being consistent with steps, ideas to 5. So making sure that you are consistent with your branding, consistent with your outreach, consistent with your contract. So for example, if you say that you need to have an in-person consultation with your client, definitely don't skip any steps and say, well, I've had it for every client except one. Be consistent and enjoy the ride. It's going to be ups and downs. The wedding industry is one that has tears of joy, tears of sorrow, tears of annoyance, but enjoy the ride. And so for business branding, I want to read this this actual quote to you. Branding is the process of creating a distinctive identity and personality for a product, service, or individual with the goal of establishing a strong and unforgettable presence in the mind of consumers or clients. The wedding industry has a plethora of vendors who provide the same service. As a wedding officiant, our role is to ensure clients not only look at our work, but have a conscious mindset on why they would say, "I do" to you. So I want that to resonate when you are going out and putting your best foot forward to being the best wedding officiant you can be within the industry. Displaying professionalism. So with us as a wedding officiant, our job is interesting because we're also competing with your local cousin or your best friend who can get ordained online. Hopefully you all got ordained by American Marriage Ministries. But you are now competing with those vendors, if you want to call them vendors, who can quote unquote do it for a low rate or do it for free because that's my cousin. So you want to make sure that as a wedding officiant, you're letting your couple see the value in what we do, because we're valuable. Without us, legally, the marriage wouldn't be there. So things that we offer legal expertise and personalization. Personalization in terms of their ceremony, legal expertise in terms of getting the marriage license signed, and not only that, getting it documented by their county clerk. Emotional support and ceremony management. Emotional support is an interesting thing because with weddings, it can be an up and down roller coaster. There are times when the couple's happy, the couple's mad. There are a lot of moving factors and pieces. So you're sometimes there to let them know it's going to be okay and be their cheerleader and give them advice and even calm them down sometimes. Ceremony management. As a wedding officiant, most of the time, if they have a wedding rehearsal, you're the one leading the wedding rehearsal. You're the one letting them know when it's their cue to come or their cue to wait. So you definitely want to take charge in that in order for their day to go smooth. And confidence and assurance. So how you display yourself as a professional is definitely important, because most couples, when they get married, this is their first time getting married. So they're nervous, they don't know what to do. So they're looking to us as vendors, especially the wedding officiants, in order to let them know everything's gonna be okay. We got you, we have everything under control. So I definitely encourage you and urge you to make sure you're following these steps in order to making sure that your clients love you and your clients give you what you need, which is one, a good review. I have a good story for you guys too with this next slide. Good story. So setting your rates. So what I would say is a lot of people in here are from different states. So I remember hearing Arizona. I remember seeing Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut. So what I would advise you to do as a newer officiant is research your market rates, research your rates in your area, because what someone can charge in California may be a whole completely different thing. Yes, we got Detroit. So definitely research your market rate within your area, because what you can charge in one part of Michigan may be a different rate in terms of another part. So definitely see what your local officiants are charging, so you're not going too low and you're not going too high, especially being a new officiant. Another avenue is creating a package or a set of packages versus one rate. So I currently have 3 separate packages that I offer my clientele, and I give them that option because some clients may want a little more extravagant stuff. Some may just want a simple, we're here to just get married and that's it. So I would say, as you're making your business, see what works best for you, but then also make sure that you're elaborating exactly what you're offering, and everything that you're offering, especially for the rate, you're giving that value. Giving an experience is ultimately, no matter what you do, whether it's a 1 rate or 3 packages, you need to give them the experience of a lifetime. Most people are only trying to get married once. They're not trying to do this rodeo again, especially if they've been prepping for a long time. So you want to make sure that they remember the ceremony as one of the highlights of their night. And they're talking about how well you handled yourself, how well you were with the family, and how you just gravitated the crowd, because one thing I will let you know, as officiants, we set the tone for the rest of the evening or the rest of the day, depending on your time. One other quick thing I will say that happened today is you want to make sure when it comes to rates, you have your forms of payment that you want to give out or promote out to your clientele. And I say this because I've had this situation, and most other officiants, as you get into business, you have this situation where you'll have somebody contacting you and they will have not spoken to you, have not had a consultation with you at all, and they'll just be ready to book. You haven't seen their face, they haven't seen your face, they're ready to book, they don't care the price, and they're ready to give you a check. Be wary about the checks, please. I'm not going to give you too much advice because it's still your business. However, be wary about accepting checks, because you'll see it. And no matter, you may be really a good officiant. However, it doesn't stop you from this spam or scam or whatever you want to call it that you may randomly have come your way. Expanding your network/net worth. So American Marriage Ministries has a great event, and they travel around with it to different states. It's called the Officiant Accelerator. I actually went to it last year in August in New York, and I'll actually be there again in September. So I definitely challenge you and invite you to go to your local one, even if you have to travel for it. If the funds permit and the time permits, definitely go on their website and look to see where they'll be next, because you definitely can learn a lot from your favorite Instagram wedding officiant or the local wedding officiant that may be in that area. So definitely come learn, laugh. They definitely treat you well. So I invite you to join. Another event or another networking piece that you can definitely expand on your skills is Wedding Officiant Academy. I host that along with Tiara, who is here somewhere on the call as well. We definitely have a community for newer officiants, seasoned officiants, and officiants just trying to figure out their way in how to best put their foot forward in terms of creating those ceremony scripts or creating an experience for the client. So we also have a Zoom call on Thursday. So if you contact me, I'll definitely give you the information on where we meet, but we're definitely meeting this Thursday at 6 p.m. And I also offer mentorship. So there is a mentorship section with Wed By Norm where I am basically your accountability coach. I am going through with you in branding properly, going over with you how to create the ceremony script and making sure that you are displaying yourself in the best possible light, not only on social media, but in person as well. So definitely go outside and network. And if you can't network in person, I also gave you online options as well. And if you want to reach me, that is my telephone number there. That's my email there as well. I answer both. My Facebook and Instagram are both Wed By Norm. I answer both as well. And I'm here to help out, answer any questions, give any feedback, whatever you need, I'm here. And I definitely say, new officiants, don't be afraid. It's going to be okay. And if you don't have all the answers today, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. And thank you all for coming. So I definitely appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And for the new officiants, I'm looking forward to seeing your growth within the industry. And I'm here. I'll be here for a bit. So if you have questions, shoot them my way.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and segue into the Q&A session. So during this Q&A, you can raise your virtual hand for us to call on you, or open the Q&A tab to type your questions in the panel. You can also type your question in the chat and we'll keep an eye out there. So who has a question that they would like to ask? Okay, and we also have a question from April. What kind of packages should you offer?
So as a wedding officiant, there are tons of specialties. Some I will say is elopement specialist. If you want to do a sign and go, if you want to do micro weddings, if you want to do big weddings. So the maximum amount of packages I would offer are 3. And why I say 3 is because you don't want to give the client too many options where they're now stressed and they don't want to work with you, because too many now gives them a lot of time to think. So I would say offer the ceremonies that you're comfortable with, and you would have to narrow that down. Like if you're a people's person or if you're not a people's person. For me, I will say I offer the 3 packages where every time you upgrade, I'm offering a little more of an incentive.
Lovely. Okay, and we have a question in the chat section. What can I say to people who ask what religion I am and I don't have one?
You could say non-denominational if you want.
Great. And let's see, there's also a question from Beverly. Do you have an online contract fill in? Also, what form of payments do you take?
So for me, I take electronic forms of payment. Cash would only be, let's say, if the client is late for some reason, the wedding starts like an hour or 20 or 30 minutes late. Like after 15 minutes, I'm already starting with the late fee. So that'll be the only reason why I would need to get cash. But other than that, like electronic form of payment such as Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, Square.
Okay, and Teresa just had a follow-up question from the previous package question. What were the 3 packages you recommend again?
So there are different weddings that you can offer. So it really depends on what type of wedding officiant you want to be. So if you want to do elopements, like the 4 that I mentioned are different types of weddings. So there's elopements, there's sign and goes, there are micro weddings, and there are the main, big weddings. So the names of the packages, like for me, I have names of my packages, and I personalize them with the names and then say what they offer. So I would say if you want, definitely be original and come up with a name if you're offering 3, and let the client know within each package what you as an officiant are going to offer.
Okay, and then we have a question from Rose. What price range should you stay in, or based on the area or is it based on the area where you live?
It's based on the area, because New Jersey would have a different rate. Like, so New Jersey, for example, North Jersey versus Central Jersey versus South Jersey, when you look it up, they're different rates. So it really depends on what you see, but then also there are times that how you start off, you're not going to finish. So for me, for example, the rate that I'm going up to, leading very shortly, is not the rate that I started out with. And that also comes with experience, that comes with learning, that comes with training and experience and everything in between. So you don't have to have a rate that you start out with and then stick with it your whole duration. So I would say, like I said, look up the market rates for sure, see what works, and see making sure you're in that range. You're not too far down or you're not too far high.
That's great advice. Okay, so we have a question from Kathy. You spoke about Google business page. Are there recommendations you have to get that page more noticed, or do you just post updates on it more often?
No, so I do have recommendations. One, definitely answer your phone when they call. There is another where they used to have messages, but I don't know if anybody currently use Google business page. They may cut that feature off starting very soon. So I would say, while the message feature is on, definitely still use that. Definitely keep updating your photos. So keep adding more photos to your page. Definitely also let them know when you have specials, discounts. Answer the Q&A part. So ask a question that a typical client may ask you and answer it, so that they don't have to keep waiting for you to come up with the answer. So if you already have the question and the answer there, that's one less thing they have to worry about when it comes out to reaching.
Great. Okay, and then we had a question from Karen. Do you meet with the clients before you accept their wedding?
Yes, I do. So for me, I do a Zoom consultation with everyone. So we have a Zoom consultation. We see if we're a good fit, because there may be times that what the couple is saying may not resonate with me, and vice versa. So I want to get a feel of, 1, am I available? 2, what do you want done that I could help you with? And three, like, how can we make this work for both parties? So definitely have a Zoom consultation or any type of consultation. Some people have in-person, some people have multiple consultations. It's really up to you. I start off with the initial one, and then I do have others if need be. So sometimes it's more than one, and that's okay, but it just really depends on you as a officiant. Like, what are you comfortable and willing to do? But be consistent, whatever you decide to do as an officiant in terms of having a consultation or not.
Great. Okay, and then we had a question from Claudia. What is the difference between elopements and sign and goes?
Elopement will be a ceremony where it may be quick, it may be you, the couple, the witnesses, max. I've done elopements where it's been like 10 people max. But the sign and go is they don't want anything. They just want you to literally sign and go. So there are two questions you'll ask just to make sure, and that's for legal wise. And we can go through that on the side more. But you just ask those two questions, and if they're fine, next thing you know, you sign and then you're out. Whereas an elopement is more of an intimate, quicker ceremony.
Okay, and Susan asks, how do I set up my Google business page so the clients can schedule and appoint an appointment or send me an email?
Google business page, I will say to you, is not an overnight thing. It is a job that'll continue and continue because your business is going to continue and continue. So you will create one first, and definitely it's going to take a little while longer to explain. So I can't explain it all here, but you can definitely DM me or give me a call, and I can walk through with you on how to set up the Google business page. But you mainly want to have all the questions you would ask. Like, let's say, for example, think of yourself as a vendor. So every question that you would ask a restaurant or look for when you're Googling a restaurant, you want to make sure is answered on your Google business page as well.
Great. Let's see. We have another question. What are some ways other than social media to advertise your services and meet couples to marry or new clients?
Okay, so I highly encourage everyone to go outside of their comfort zone and definitely go to networking events. Definitely go to expos. Like this past Saturday, I went to a venue just to view and actually just started chatting with the vendors there and just picking their brain in terms of how can I be of service to them. And that's also another way too, because you never know when people are in need of an officiant. What I personally do, and you're gonna laugh at this, so sometimes when my friends or family members come to my house, I already have like a plethora of different marketing material. Before they leave, I'm giving them the marketing material to pass along to their friends or pass along to their colleagues. Another way I do it is I leave marketing material in places that I go. So if I'm gonna have a day where I am eating out at a restaurant or going to a location, I'm leaving business cards there, or I'm leaving a quarter flyer there. I'm definitely leaving something there in order to let people know that Wed by Norm is ready to marry people. So I definitely encourage you to do more than social media, because at least for me, I will say I definitely got more clients off of social media, especially with Notary too. So if Notary, yes, I do still offer Notary services as well. And I definitely leave my Notary flyers there. So Wed by Norm and Notarize with Norm, they're like a 2-for-1 deal. So I'm giving them both at the same time to my family and friends and the local restaurant.
Okay, and let's see, Claudia did kind of want to clarify, do you advertise the business separately, or do you always do the 2-for-1 deal?
So I promote it separately. So there's a separate email. The telephone number is the same, which is fine, but the email is definitely different. The Google business page is different. The social media is different. At first, when I did the first wedding, because I didn't have a vision yet of this being Wed by Norm, I just did the first wedding for a favor. So I was like, all right, like, and after the first wedding, I really sat down and said, I now should do something with this. So then, now I created Wed by Norm. Do I work with a backup officiant? Yes, I have a few. What I will encourage everyone to do is to market and network with your fellow officiants. Do not think of the next officiant is competition. I believe in collaboration over competition. You never know when you need a backup person because, i.e., how I got into this, by helping someone out. So you definitely want to know who's there, know their working style, know how you can service them and vice versa. And just know that, like, if you can rely on them, then that'll be great. And not only just knowing in your state, know in other states as well, because you never know when they may want you to go to a state, but for some reason you can't go. And it's someone in New York or someone in Connecticut or someone in Pennsylvania. Because you have those relationships, you can now refer them to somebody that you have a good rapport with, and you know that they're going to put their business in your business in the best light possible.
Beautiful. And then we have another question. What other types of wedding vendors do you find it most beneficial to network with besides other wedding officiants?
Wedding planners. Wedding planners are important because, remember, they are getting majority of not all the vendors. So you definitely want to network with wedding planners. You definitely want to network with photographers, videographers. And why I say network with those two as well is because, remember, as you are at the podium doing the ceremony, you can't take your own photos and videos, and they are. And because they're taking the professional ones, which of course you would want because it looks better than your Samsung or your iPhone, you want to network with them so that you can get those photos so you can promote your business even better. I would say other people is definitely venues. Venues are good as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you can be a preferred vendor for not only just a venue, but like other vendors as well. Like they'll say, hey, excuse me, I'll work with Wed By Norm. So now we know each other's working style and they're willing to work with you. Definitely network. If you don't network with anyone else, network with those type of vendors that I just mentioned.
That's some great advice right there. Let's see, Claudia asks, do you have packages that include other services like wedding coordination or?
At the moment, I don't. I actually do have like wedding planning skills. So before I was officially as an officiant, I did plan one of my best friend's weddings. Will I offer other services? That maybe, I'm not gonna say no. Right now, just really would be wedding officiant and mentorship for weddings. Other than that, right now, no others. But you can, and there are quite a few officiants that I know that offer day of coordination as well. They may offer any other service. So I would say if you can tie it well where it's conducive and it works for you, numbers wise and time wise, then maybe consider it. But you also don't want to be a jack of all trades, but not good at any of the trades you have. So you want to make sure you're able to master something, because you don't want to say you have 15 different skills and you're really not that good at it. Like, you're okay.
Good point. Okay, we do have another question about getting yourself on preferred vendor lists as far as the venues go. How do you go about making those relationships? Do you just introduce yourself to the venues or?
So I could tell you, I went to one on Saturday actually. So I can tell you from what I did Saturday. So I went to one. Before I went, I met them at an event, and I actually kept in contact, emailed them, wanted to go to the venue to actually view it in person. And went in person this past Saturday, spoke to them about what they may need, how I could better assist them. And they asked me my services, what I offer, if there's anybody looking for a venue now. And I told them I'll be on the lookout because some of the clients that I have already, they already have their venue, of course. So I pretty much straight out asked them, like, do you have a preferred vendor list? Some may say yes, some may say no. If you do, how many wedding officiants do you have? This vendor, or venue, I should say, actually had no wedding officiants on there. So I said, if you can put me on there, I will gladly be grateful and be willing to help out if I can. And the most I could say is, if they say yes, they say yes. The worst that can happen is they say no.
Absolutely. Okay, we have a couple questions that we can get to before we're out of time. Let's see, do you consider writing a manual book about weddings where most people can learn?
Yes, so guys, speaking of that, I have a new ebook on branding 101. Yes, so it's called From I Do to I Do, the ultimate officiant branding guide. And it is on Gumroad. I could definitely shoot Jessica and Marissa the link. But yes, I have an ebook. It came out about 3 weeks ago. So it's definitely helping you on how to brand, and it touches more on what I was talking about with branding and why it's important. And for people outside of weddings, it can also help because branding is not only within wedding officiant, it's within other fields. So you can definitely take tips and tricks from it in order for you to promote yourself, not only better online, but in person. Will I think of an actual book? I feel like you gave me inspiration because I might. And another fun fact, I guess I'll tell you about myself, is that my degree in undergrad was actually journalism. So who knows? Maybe I'll do it and get a whole wedding book for everybody to get it and learn something or two.
Fantastic. I love that. Okay, and I think we got one more question. Should we be an LLC to keep our brand ours or just in general? Do you recommend LLCs?
LLC, so I'm not an accountant. So I definitely will not fully say yes or no. I would say if you do it, if you do decide to do it, LLC does have a lot of responsibility. So if you're able to make those responsibilities and fulfill them, then yes. If you're not, then there's other options as well. When you fill out your W-9, there's a plethora of options. So definitely see which one works out well for you. And for me, even before I started doing notary and weddings, I also just gave my taxes to a tax person. Just, hey, professionally, just do it. So now that I have these, I'm just letting them do it as well. Like, just here you go, do it. So I would say if you have an accountant or a tax woman or a man, talk to them first to see if it works out well for you. But I would say definitely if you are an entrepreneur that has multiple jobs or multiple income coming in, you definitely want to list everything down because you want to make sure that the IRS doesn't come after you.
Very good point. But I believe that is all of our time. So thank you so much, Norman. That was fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so if you guys enjoyed this class, be sure to attend one of our live events with Officiant Accelerator. Like we said before, Officiant Accelerator is an in-person event series by AMM in partnership with IAPWO, where you can learn how to deliver powerful ceremonies, build a successful practice in your community, and join a network of passionate wedding professionals in a city near you. We'll be headed to San Francisco, New York, and Columbus, Ohio within the next few months, so be sure to get your tickets ASAP at the AMM store or the Officiant Accelerator website at officiantaccelerator.com. So thank you all so much for attending, and thank you, Norman, for a wonderful presentation. We'll be sure to send out all of those resources and keep an eye out for the email that includes the recording of this session. So thank you all for a lovely presentation.